Hey, I'm Sheldon Andrus, founder of Andrus Advisory, and what you're about to watch is an excerpt from a live webinar that I taught called SundayOS, which stands for Sunday's operating system. Now, the idea behind SundayOS is simple. Every device you own, including the one you're watching me on right now, runs on an operating system, and every church should too. You won't always see it, but you will feel it every Sunday. Now, for years, I've worked with churches across the country. And before that, I built my career in advertising and brand strategy, leading teams, building businesses, and serving as an executive pastor at a church that grew from 1,200 to over 15,000 people in attendance. And here's what I've learned. Healthy, growing churches like that don't treat Sundays like a weekly surprise. They engineer it. They build systems underneath the sermon, the song, the volunteers, and the guest experience so that growth becomes repeatable instead of accidental. Now, in this excerpt, I'm breaking down why your church will never outgrow its Sunday. Now, if you want access to the full SundayOS webinar, no problem. Click the link below in the description, and I'll send you the full session. You ready? Let's jump in. Okay, here's the reality. As we get into SundayOS, here is the reality. Sunday is not sneaking up on us, y'all. It happens every 7 days, and it has since the creation. And yet for many churches, I find Sunday still feels like an emergency. It feels like it is coming, and we find ourselves on Sunday morning doing avoid being scared of the cell phone. Like, I know what this is. This isn't good. And so here's the truth. Sunday feels like an emergency, but it's not an emergency because you don't love Jesus. It's not because God isn't moving. But it's because I find that your Sunday isn't engineered systematically. Now, I get to work with churches. Our team gets to work with churches all over the globe, literally all over the globe. And so we are able in our practice to compare trends really easily because we have insight into multiple churches. I know you see, hey, you're like, no, Sheldon, my church is unique. We're the only people having these problems. I have good news for you. You're not. This is the beauty of the church. But what we find amongst healthy growing churches, is that they don't treat Sunday like a weekly surprise. Those churches, we find, treat them like game day. They plan for it. They practice for it. Yes, I said practice for it. They rehearse their transitions. They review their game film. They clarify roles, and they define the win before the doors even open. Now, we just, watched a phenomenal Super Bowl game. It's kind of one of the most boring ones we ever watched, but that's fine. We'll get on from there. But here's the deal. No championship team shows up hoping that it works, right? Championship teams don't pray for luck. They prepare as if they practice like they're going to play. They build systems all week so that execution is sharp when it matters. And the truth is, I find healthy churches do the exact same. Healthy churches are incredibly clear about the intended outcome of Sunday. Is it salvation? Is it engagement? Is it movement to the next step? Is it the presence of God? Is it a gospel-centered message? Healthy churches aren't just hoping something happens. They're engineering and holding themselves accountable for what should happen. And when Sunday is treated like game day, when it's systematized, notice, I hear you. I can hear your thoughts all the way on this webinar right now. You're saying, ooh, this don't sound like it's going to have no presence in it. And I'm saying systems don't replace presence. They invite it. Okay, that's your first thought of the day. I'm throwing this in. This isn't even in my notes. But when Sunday is treated like game day, and when we run it with systems and we run it with preparation and clarity, the growth that all of us are praying for, believing for, fasting for, crying out to God for, that growth stops feeling accidental and starts becoming repeatable. Now, that's exactly why I call this SundayOS. OS is short for operating system. Every device, from this computer that I'm using to talk to you, to your phone, to your alarm system on your car, every device that you own runs on an operating system. Here's a crazy thing about an operating system. You don't see it. You don't feel it. You just experience it. You know it's happening. But someone somewhere put intentionality behind that experience. And that operating system ultimately determines how everything functions. If the operating system is unstable, everything will glitch. And if it's outdated, everything slows down. If it's clear and strong and well designed, everything runs more smoothly. So SundayOS, for me, is the operating system behind your Sunday. It's not the sermon. It's not the songs. It's not even the people, although it is incredibly dependent on the people. The SundayOS is the structure. It is the foundation. It is the pillar underneath the structure that ultimately will grow your church. Because when you upgrade your operating system, hello, somebody who's into technology, when you upgrade your operating system, everything just seems to work better. Everything is more clear. Everything gets simpler, but works faster. Here's the tension I want you to wrestle with. Here's the real tension I want you to wrestle with today. Your church, I got to say this slow, your church will never outgrow its Sunday. You can outpreach it. You can outmarket it. You can even out-event it for a moment. But long term, your Sunday determines your ceiling. I say this all the time. I say Sunday is the crystallization of your mission. That's why it's called corporate worship. It is what happens when you put all of the pieces of our faith and our faith journey and our experience together in one time, in one room. It's the beauty of our faith culminating in this weekly gathering. And I'm 10 toes down on this. I don't think it's possible to be better corporately than we are individually. When we become one on Sunday, we bring all of our pieces together. And if that isn't thoughtful, practiced, rehearsed, thought through, and doesn't have intention and design behind it, it's hard to be better than that. You can't outgrow your Sunday. And so this is why truthfully, I hope you already know, I care really, really deeply about this conversation. I have a real burden for pastors who love their people, but feel like every week is heavier than it should be. I have a love for pastors who are preaching hard, praying hard. I see you leading hard, but still walking out. I get the phone calls. I'm like the favorite place to vent on Sunday nights. I see you still walking out on Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, thinking there has to be a better way to do this. Let me ask you something. If your church doubled in attendance this weekend, what would break? Would your volunteers scramble? Would your lobby bottleneck? Would your transitions drag? Would your first steps stall? Because here's what I know. Growth doesn't create weakness. It exposes it. And you don't rise to the level of your calling. You fall to the level of your systems. Now, I'm not speaking in theory. If you know me, I've led in churches of 60 and in churches of well over 15,000, including serving on the executive team of the fastest growing church in America in 2024. And I've seen what happens when growth outpaces structure. And I've seen what happens when structure is ready for growth. Because of that, this is why I've created the Sunday Collective. Now, let me be clear about what the Sunday Collective is and what it's not. This is not a content library. This is not another course you log into, and it's certainly not another generic group coaching idea. This is me and my over 20 years of experience working hand in hand with you live in the room. This is a coaching experience that is highly interactive and highly personalized to you and your context. Every week, we'll meet for 90 minutes for a strategy intensive. This isn't a replay. This isn't theory. This is my hard-earned knowledge coming to bear to help you build what matters the most. What we'll do is we'll diagnose, we'll build, and we will refine. And after each intensive, we'll step a step further into what I call strategy sessions. This is where we go deeper and we'll answer real implementation questions from you. And we'll pressure test what you're actually building. And here's what separates Sunday Collective from everything else you've seen. In addition to the over 18 hours of coaching you'll receive working directly with me, you're going to get 3 60-minute private one-on-one coaching calls with me. Not somebody from the team, not a different coach, me. This is you, me, and your church's issues unpacked, giving you real tools, real solutions so you can get clear, so you can grow faster. Now, here's how we do it. We structure these sessions very specifically. Session 1, we'll diagnose. This is where we'll uncover the real bottleneck in your Sunday. In session 2, we'll deploy. We'll build and assign the systems that fix it. And in session 3, we'll optimize. We'll tighten execution and make it repeatable. Now, listen, 1 session, that's just good strategy, but 3 sessions, that's transformation. Because you're here from the SundayOS webinar, those 3 private sessions are going to be included during this enrollment window. So don't wait. You need to register now. When this webinar window closes, that bonus goes away, y'all. This isn't about inspiration. This isn't about you just being inspired. This is about installation. You getting the tools that you need to run a healthy, growing church using the best tool you already have, Sunday morning. If you're serious about building this the right way, if you're done hoping Sunday works, if you're ready to stop being the bottleneck, do me a favor, click the link in the description. Apply for the Sunday Collective Mastermind, and I'll see you in the room.